I'm going to select a color. This is kind of a test. And something for myself. So I've already saged, and now I'm grounding down from my heart center into the center of the earth. And from my heart center up into the universe and wide throughout my energy field. With love and gratitude to this life. With love and gratitude to the people that surround me and support me on this earth and in the spiritual realms. As I come to a place of attempting at least to zero in discovering what my soul wants to carry forth with this life at this time. Really attempting to get away from the trappings of culture, of finance, looking for what my soul considers fun and engaging. What can I do that would really make me smile? And want to get out of bed in the morning to do. Probably hard to read. What would give my soul the most joy to engage with at this time, with myself and with others? feel like I'm skipping along. Initially it felt like a plant growing, and yet I already see the woman forming itself. It's sort of feels kind of like a tulip. It's vibrating outward. Makes me think of things that I can do within myself that then vibrate out to others. This feels like some kind of a core. I feel like this is creating some kind of an opening, although it's a different kind of shape. It feels a bit protected, kind of like roots growing. It's a path that's flowing and yet expanding. But it doesn't, once these curves, maybe like an onion, feels a lot like an onion. Feels like a protective, like feathers, wings. And now I feel a tree starting to grow. And I see a dancer. It's almost like the original woman underneath is starting to meld in, and this one is now coming into view. So these protective feathers are more like the swaying of a skirt while she dances. But the tree is now, the branches are arms. chalk asks me to flow a little bit more and be less restrictive. Feeling as if I'm not fully in my body and allowing. I'm scared of what I might see. I'm thinking about the onion again and these two pieces. It's like the sprout of the onion, right? As the greens begin to form out of it. And there are different aspects of these greens. Gives it more dimension. I selected the color blue, by the way, because I felt it represented the depth of soul, or depth of my soul. I'm thinking about what's in the onion that wants to now come out. The layers that want to come off. Some light in the center that want it to form. Making me not like the image as much. Wondering what it's about exactly. It almost looks like a division. Perhaps it's a time of departure. From the onion. And now I'm thinking about the rainbow. I don't know the way that the colors of the rainbow exactly go, but I'm just going to add colors. Perhaps it represents like the ultraviolet light or the light that we can't see. selected the chalk pastels, which I haven't used for a long time because they are smearable, and I'm tempted to smear this line. Feels a bit like erasing. Which then feels like energy, which doesn't have a particular form, and yet something was there that can vaguely be seen. And now I see a wave. Makes me think more of energy waves. And that which was dancing in this way feels like it's more turned that way, towards the right. And it feels like a different kind of object now. More like a seed, maybe, or a well. All the smudging, smearing makes me think things are not clear yet. But it now looks like there's this light going down into this well. And there's kind of a center there. Makes me think a bit about dandelions. It was first making me think about when you blow a seeded dandelion. But these marks look more like an actual dandelion, but it's white instead of yellow. And yet there are these orange tinges because of the colors underneath. And then this thing wants to grow. It wants to perhaps seed out, grow and seed. maybe this is part of what I actually want to do. As I've watched bits of conversations develop something else, some other way of being in others. It's about being the seed. Thinking about the dandelions again, and how most people don't like dandelions in their yards. They want them to be pulled. Dandelions in yards, I've heard, are largely due to soil that is hard and compacted and needs something more, which the dandelions offer. They're also a nutritious food source. And their seeds travel far in the wind. A friend and I have often thought of going to different places and just taking our energies there and our intentions. Such that people can catch these seeds of energy in the air. I like the idea of doing that. You need to give up the idea of getting something for it or seeing the particular result. Maybe what I get back is a better world that gets created around me in ways that I don't yet know or comprehend. How those energies will come back and reflect back to me. Maybe I get other people involved by suggesting things that they do in their communities, going places and spreading particular energies. Particular seeds. This expands out those energies. These kinds of energies don't have words, and therefore the interpretations are created in the body. And not subject to the mind. The dandelion and its seeds blow in the wind, who knows not where. where it will plant itself, what effects it will have, whether it will be accepted or pulled or poisoned. Whether it goes into the compost bin or the garbage or into someone else's yard or lays on the ground. As my hand gets tired of doing that, and I'm thinking of other ways of perpetuating this. You see this organism in the middle here. There's a lot of movement, a lot of people. I kind of see people with their arms out, kind of like in the original drawing here. But I was also thinking about Stonehenge and the fact that I feel it's an activation point. An activation point within us, perhaps, as this person was dancing, and that was near the navel. This is her power that's swelled. And there's kind of a spinning action here. As if the wind is starting to take it, to spin it into these people. And maybe these aren't people. It's almost like they're wings. Maybe they're angelic forms. Working with angels. Allowing the opening of people's wings. Now I'm noticing flower petal forms that begins to make me think of the flower of life. It's almost like a lotus coming through on this side. But I see kind of a full flower, kind of like a dahlia. And as I think as to whether we're complete or not, I'm thinking about these vibrations outward. And trying to decide on a color. They don't want to be very precise. Not sure whether to go over the top here or not in this opening. I'll try another color. Thinking about doing different colors and smearing it. Again. Again, as I smear, I think about the energy is present but not fully visible. I wasn't sure what was happening in this uncolored space, but it's almost like this energy that's being created over here then begins to fill what already didn't have any, what didn't have anything before. Okay, this is going to come outward now. It makes me think of, seeds are something to give people something to think about, but not necessarily act on right away. They can accept the seeds or not. And they may accept the seeds later than offered, as the initial energy is hidden underneath. The initial initiation point is hidden underneath. And what came from this? I've seen it quite a bit in the last few years, and I believe that it is happening. And now I feel like filling in this flower that I see. attempting to give it some balance, but I'm not sure that it wants it. But for me, it looks like a lotus flower of some formation. And I think that I am complete. This is the way the lotus flower blooms, apparently. Getting up, I noticed like an angel or a fairy formed in the middle as well. And maybe I should take a closer look. Oh, I have lots of fingerprints here that I feel like erasing. But maybe I'll create more instead, like heads of people peeking in. To see what is going on. Well, they don't really show up, but in my imagination they are there. They're not known to me, but perhaps they're taking notice as well. The whole thing kind of looks like a seed. Shot down from somewhere. That dandelion may be like in holding it upside down and shaking the seeds. In this position, it looks a lot like it's kind of a being that's grounded in some way versus being placed there. I know there's this bent in the dandelion that way, like it's been lassoed somehow. that's it.